Average Anglers, welcome to another live match fishing video. We're at Acorn on the Tuesday midweek affordable. Sorry if it's a little bit blowy again. Hopefully it's not coming through on the camera, on the audio should I say. I'm on peg 29 again, the one with the aerator. Had this one recently on teams of 5, so if you go back and look at my videos you'll see a teams of 5 video on here, and I had this peg then. It's not the area that you'd like to draw to, it's not what you'd run to, but the fish are quite spread out at Acorn at the moment, so who knows what's going to happen. I haven't really come today to fish for silvers, as you can see. We're quite positive. 6 mils, 8 mils, more 6 mils. I've just soaked up some 2 mils. I've got a whole bag with me today. When I was at Land's End on the last video, I felt like I needed more micros to make something happen. Here comes Mark Walsh. He's got a pound with me today, so we better be beating him. He's put 4 keep nets in, so I thought I'd better put 4 keep nets in just to keep up appearances. I'll be happy if I fill them. It is only a £50 net today, so you know, if you've got over £100 and you've got some silvers, then you will need 4 nets, because you know you're gonna have £50 in each net, so you're gonna be onto your 3rd carp net, and then you're gonna have your silvers in. So you will catch the odd silver here, especially with me, because I like to fish the expander. So there we are. We're only about 7 or 8 minutes away from the start. There's 20 odd today. It's a good turnout, well over 20, which is just about nice for Acorn. 40 pegs, so everyone's got a bit of room, but it's full and there's nowhere for the fish to really back off. Let's have a little look at what we've got. We've got a rig. So on this peg, it's literally as deep here where this sun is as it is in the middle. And then it stays on this, and it stays as deep as that until it's in that shadow there of the reeds, and it comes up. But I've managed to find a little flat plateau over here in front of this clump of reeds. It's a little bit shallower, and I can reach into this sort of bay, just into it there, and there's a little bit of a shallower bit there, about 2 foot, so I'm hoping to fish in that. I've got one rig that will fish down here. It'll fish under that platform. It'll fish under that platform. It'll fish in the deep water over there. Then I've got another rig for this shallow plateau and the shallow plateau over there. I'm hoping my deep rig's going to fish short for me as well. I've just got to check that out before we start the match. I've got the slapping rig set up because it's so deep there, tight over. I'm thinking about pinging some pellets at that, not fishing it to start with. I'm going to start short, ping some pellets at that, and then go over on the deck. But if I start to get indications, I can come up shallow and try and catch, because it's literally straight off the banks. It's quite deep water, tight over, so they might come up shallow there. When I say come up shallow, they might just feed off the bottom, really, is what I mean. So I've got lots of options, but I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit for the first bit and just see how it's fishing. If it starts to look like it's fishing, it's not something. There'll be some micros coming out and getting banged in everywhere, try and make something happen. So there we are. Catch you in a bit, guys. Right then everyone, the hauling's just sounded. Unfortunately, just realised that I've left my remote control for my tripod camera at home, which means I'm not going to have much tripod camera footage. If anything, I might turn it on later on and just let it run for a few hours and see what we pick up, but I'm going to leave it for the first half of the match. So that's going to make editing very easy for me, but perhaps viewing not quite as good as you're used to, guys. I'm sorry about that. So, just starting in some shallow water down to my left, just where this deeper rig that I've got sits nicely just at the bottom of the slope. I don't know if you can see where I'm fishing here with this camera, but that's where we're fishing. Just dropped in some 6 mils, got an expander on the hook, and we're just at the bottom of the slope there. Just pull the rig in a little bit, it'll definitely be up against the slope there. We're just gonna see how we get on doing that for 20 minutes whilst we watch what everybody else is doing. There's no other bait going in my peg. I'm just going to watch what's going on, see if I get any indications on how well it's fishing or not. See somebody on the opposite bank's caught a fish over already, or at least it looks like he's caught a fish. So there's the early sign. So I'll get back to you with a little bit more information when something happens, or if I catch a fish. But at the moment, I've got a few people starting short down to my left, and I got a lot of people starting long down to my right, so we can see what's going on. Catch you in a bit, guys. Right, guys, a few minutes in, I've had a £9 carp, which I saw sucking in the grass to my right. So I just dropped an expander on his nose and he come straight up, sucked it in. I had him. And I've been fishing down to my left, dropping 6mm pellets down there. I've had 2 skimmers and then I've just stuck this on the expander. I've just started to ping a bit of bait over to that far reed line that I said I might try and catch him a bit shallow. So in between like puts, I'm just going over there. Only a small carp. Yeah, struggling. Struggling, mate. That's Mr. Walsh trying to warm me up while I'm landing. Obviously his pound's at stake, so he's worried. He'll catch if they're fishing short, he'll catch a few. He's very good at catching them short. So hopefully we can beat him at his own game. Right, guys. Wow, nice little 2 or 3 pounder. Catching a bit. Right then, guys, it's 23. 20. What you got? £20. £23 I got on my clicker. You probably got 55 if you've got 25 on your clicker. Right, guys, so been trying to catch these fish slapping. So when I've been firing bait over and the carp have started slurping long grass over, and I've been trying to sort of slap a rig at them, but it's impossible because of all the stick ups. So what I'm doing is I'm fishing as shallow as I can with a float and just holding it there, and they seem to be coming around, slurping it up, sucking it in and having it. So just spooked a ghosty off there, but yeah, they just seem to come up and just grabbing it. Every now and again I give it a little tap on the water just to try and draw the attention of something. But trying to hold it still enough so you get a take is half the battle because it's so windy. So windy today. So I'm just giving it a little tap every now and again to draw some attention. I'm flicking bait over there, but try not to while I'm fishing over there. Oh, one's just had it. I can't show you this because my tripod camera's gone on. It's really hard because I'm sitting at a funny angle when I'm fishing, but it's very similar to how I've caught them before shallow in the evening matches. And they're just coming. And while I'm playing them, you can see what's going on. I've got one on now, so while I'm playing him, I'm just flicking some bait over towards the grass. The odd one goes in the grass, that's fine, that's what keeps them interested. Oh, got me. I thought I had a knot in my net then. So I've had 2 fish in a row doing this. I've caught off, banged a load of bait in over my shallow spot to the left because there's definitely fish there. But this I've got to give these big carp a reason to go down, I think. I'm catching the little ones now. At least they're feeding. Shouting at Mark, just trying to, psych him out a bit. So, like I say, today's footage isn't going to be the best. I've lost my tripod cam. It's not doing me any favours not having a tripod cam, but anyway, I'm still feeding my left hand margin where I started. I'm putting pellets into this grass on down here as well. I'm purposefully hoping to get. I've had one carp come and slurping in it, and I've had him. So the idea is every now and again a carp will come up and slurp in that grass, and I can drop an expander on his head, try and touch around a little bit. Let's see if I can give you a view of what's going on out there. So I'm just pushing the pole, very shallow, probably fishing 5 or 6 inches deep, and then just tapping the pole and see the float. And actually tapping the pole helps me keep the float still, because in this wind it wants to move, so slapping the pole seems to help it stay rigid, and then eventually one hooks himself, just because it's so direct. But they're only small fish, but they're coming in. It's only little ones, aren't they? Only little 2-pounders, 1-pounders, some of them. Look at that, it's a stocky. It's almost a silverfish, that is, isn't that? Probably just a bit too big for the silverfish net. These are stocky from the carp pool. Just ones that spawned in the specimen pool. And they took them in here, but I'm going to put him in there. Just going to click a pound. Very low net limit today, £50, and so you've got to be very careful. This is where this right way of mine is really going to pay for itself. Oops, that's it. So just before I go out every time, I'm just feeding all my lines. Just trying to keep everything ticking over. So I've got other lines. I've got a line on the deck. I'll put a lot of bait in. I'm in that shallow water to my left. At the start I said I found a little shallow plateau over, so I'm fishing there at the moment. Again, I'm just trying, I'm hoping that you can see something. Ooh, missed one there, guys. Right, I'm going to turn you off, guys, because I'm not sure what you're getting, but you're getting the idea. We're just past 2.5 hours in, so we're just coming up to the halfway point. 3 hours would be halfway, and I've got £26 on the clicker. It's not fishing amazingly well, so I'm probably doing all right. Catch you in a bit. So, I know what time it is actually. The time is 1:05. We had a couple of fish tapping dead shallow over there, but it died very, very quickly. And whilst I was tapping over there, I went and put a big cup of bait, a big cup of micros over the spot that I'm fishing now, which is where I had that nice shallow plateau. And I've gone back over that, and I've had a little run of small fish, skimmers, small stockies, sort of pound, 2 pound fish. And but I've lost about 3 foul lookers, because when I baited up, it's like the fish coming in, but they're not on the bait; they're just up in the water. So I'm just swapping my rig around to see if I can catch them up in their water, because I feel like they're not on the bottom. So I've got 2 rigs at the same depth. One's got a thicker tip on. One was this one that I'm fishing with now, which is the sort of 2.5 mil tip. Yeah, 2.5 mil tip. Float, this one, but he's only a 0.2 gram. The other float is a 0.5 gram. The idea is that when the wind gets up like it has now, the 0.5 gram one, you can just fish a longer lash and it will fish itself, which is what I've needed to do because the wind's been up and down. But what I've done is I've just shallowed this rig up to give myself a longer lash, changed the shotting around, so I've only got one shot falling down in about 12 inches of water or so. Well, maybe a bit more than 12, maybe 13, 14 inches of depth. But what I'm finding is, even though I'm cupping in micros, wet micros, that are literally sinking straight to the bottom as fast as wet micros do, these fish are trying to intercept them up in the water. And so I'm just trying to lay my rig and let it gently fall and see if I can grab some of these fish as they fall, as it's falling down, because some of them are better fish. So I've got the two rigs now. I've got this rig which is sort of half to three-quarter depth, and I've got the full depth rig, this one, but this one's falling through the whole depth, almost the whole water column. So you get lots and lots of little indications when it goes in before. Just wondering whether they were big fish or whether they were little fish. The first one I've hooked has been a very small, very, very small carp. Don't really want to catch those. So if that's what I'm going to catch, then we'll go back to the deep rig on the deck, because at least I was catching fish that were like around a pound, although you do miss about 10 bites before you actually hook something that's worth catching. I'm getting loads of indications and I'm not hitting them, which is a sign that either the fish are even shallower than I am, or they're tiny little things. I might try shallowing up a little bit first, because that's always an option. Just seem like the fish are rushing up off the bottom to come in and intercept this bait. Oh, there's a big ghosty in here, see if we can sneak him in. No, he's not had it. Sometimes you drop that bait in front of their nose, they'll have it. Well, let's try again with a shallower setup. Just remember, I'm going to feed one with the lines this time. I've been feeding over there and I'm purposefully getting a few into the reeds because those carp are coming into the reeds. Not that far into the reeds. Oh my god. That's better. And I've got a spot down here which the wind likes to cock up, and then I'm feeding straight into the grass there, hoping to get some suckers, and also underneath it's the same depth as I've got on the other rig, so I can just drop onto the deck if it doesn't work. Big splodge of one wetted mic is going to come down another. So what are we on now? Just over a foot. He's back again. There's a couple of them up over there at the moment. He keeps coming on. I'll have him in a minute. Whoa, wind! Just let that wind settle for a second. Let that wind settle just for a second. Or I'll feed. Otherwise it's just going to be crazy. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we are. Had a bite whilst I've been hanging about really, to be honest. So I just fed right over the float, see if these fish are rushing up from underneath. I might grab this pellet. I feel like the fish that I fouled haven't been that shallow, so I'd be surprised if this might be too shallow. It's moving and darting around. There you are. Something's had a look at that float and just had a look at that bait and rejected it. Better fish. Really, I'm getting buffeted around quite a lot by the wind. Carp really just been spooked there. Very shallow. Just do not want to be down the big carp at the moment. Tried slapping for them, they just don't seem to want to know. I feel like that hasn't increased my catch rate, so let's go back on the deck. And just have to get it out of my head, the thing. Out of my head now, the thing, so I can just get on with fishing as I should be. So this rig here, you can see he's got a much longer lash on him. It's got two shots here to try and hold the wind, but this is full depth and just a bulk. I'm just, you know, being quite positive because it's hard. Just, you know, you want to make sure you got a positive bite to strike out with that much lash. It's not a venue that's full of F1s. I've not got to worry too much about F1s or anything like that. Feed all my lines and get back out there. I feel like I'm working really hard today. I'm not getting any rewards for it. A lot of baiting. I'm being positive. So what happens with this deep rig is you put it in, you put the bait in, see if the same happens again. You put the bait in, you get your float over your baited spot. And you get several indications before you get one that you can actually hit. So there's my first indication. This rig's not settling down at the moment. If a shot's come off it or what? It's really high in the water. Maybe a shot's come off at some point. I mean, that last fish I caught knocked a shot off. It's very, very high in the water. The whole bristle's out. It's not how it has been shotted. That was a big fish foul line a lot. Big spook. Another big fish that's just come into the line there, foul off the line. And another one. Just so very many fish there that it's weird. Another one. All shallow, those fish. I've just had my shallow rig in there, didn't want to know it. Another one shallow. Interestingly, I was catching on the deck. Now I don't seem to be able to get a... Let's just settle down now. Maybe one of these fish, maybe this next bite will be a proper bite on the deck. very odd at the moment. The proper bite. It'll be a small stocky. The only thing that seems to be on the bottom, small stockies and skimmers. That's odd in itself. There you are. You can see what I mean by these small stockies. They're just a bit too small to go in the carp net, so I took them in with the silvers. I'm not supposed to be weighed with the silvers, but I'm not going to be competing for the silvers. There'll be people at 40-50 pound of silver, so I'm not going to be one of them people. Right, I'm just going to try a very, very shallow rig over there where that bait's just gone in, where that fish has just come from. Got signs of a few fish slurping over on the far banks. We'll have a look, see if we can nick one of them, and if we can't, we'll go over the, we'll feed the fed lot, we'll feed the line and go over it, feed it the fed line and see whether or not they want a piece of the action. Everybody wants a piece of the action. Give him another patch full. That was stupid, wasn't it? Straight at the pole. Perfect. Let's see if we can nick one. A little tapping trick. Where is he? He's in there somewhere. Fucking ridiculous. No, I want. And a slapping trick. Really small ones like this. It's a fish nevertheless. It's a little copy. little comment, little mirror, sorry. Be £2, I'd say he's going to be on the scales. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is 3. Just 2.5, but we'll click 3 because we don't want to be here on the net, do we? Right guys, it's all out. I've clicked about 127 on my right way with carp, and I've got some small carp and some odd silvers to go on top of that, so I should be looking at about 130. That can be a decent weight. I don't know if anybody else has got anything like that around here. Can't see the other side of the lake. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that I've not got a lot of footage. As I may have already said, I've left my remote control at home, so I couldn't turn on and off the tripod, so I have had that on for about 2.5 hours, but I think I've missed the last sort of half an hour, 45 minutes, ran out of memory card. And then my chest cam decided it didn't want to record anymore. It kept telling me to format the drive, even though I'd already formatted it, so it's all gone pear-shaped. But essentially what's happened is I've caught a lot of my fish up against these reeds. I've been pinging pellets over there throughout the day, and I didn't really go over there for the first sort of 2 hours, 3 hours. I've tried short down here, a couple of fish early on, and then it's sort of gone hard. I've gone over here. There's a little clump of grass, come short of that just a bit. No, I can't make it. Yeah. Then there's a just in here. Sorry about that. Just somebody asking me a question. Just in here, there's a little flat spot about 2.5 foot. 2 foot deep perhaps, and I caught all right in there, but then it just started to get bits and bobs. I tried around the back of there in the same rig, same problem. I've fed down here all day with just thrown into that grass that's sticking out, hoping that some fish at the end will just come in and start slurping and I can catch them. I've had one and I had him right at the start. So what's happened then is the match has gone and I've started to notice fish slurping over there, so I've gone in over there with a rig about 12 inches long, pushed the dibber down as shallow as I can, and then just started pushing the dibber into the holes, occasionally tapping the pole if I didn't get a take after sort of 2 or 3 minutes. When the carp was slurping, just pushing it into the holes, and eventually the dibber just flies under and you're into one. And then when I've caught over there, I've come back down the edge and I've had a couple more down this edge, but I'm getting it's just gone funny down here. But I fed it all day and perhaps I've put too much in. So I've sort of caught fish from here where I've fed, I've caught fish from here where I've fed, I've caught fish from here where I've fed, and I have caught at least one fish from here I've fed. So it's been one of them days where they've just been everywhere. So hopefully I'll be in the frame with that, but you never know with this place. Somebody could, there's some good pegs, there's some good anglers, somebody could have 150, 200, who knows. I'll let you know when I find out. Thanks again, guys.